at Sterling Hills?
No.
Are we at Sterling Golf Club?
No, we're at the Braemar Gathering.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about because you told me about it. But great music, Hop.
Good job, Hop.
Yes. We should have had that flavor going through the whole show like that. It was cool. Nikki Anderson joining us in studio for Mr. Billy Gibbs. He's away at the Pure Insurance Championship benefiting the First Tee. Be back next week. And we're talking about Nikki's trip that she had planned and went to Scotland during most of September. And one of the things I wanted to ask you, and remind me, I want you to talk about what you told me about all that other stuff yesterday, those sports or whatever the heck they're doing. But first and foremost, you're there playing for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it was. How did you have to manage your game differently? And when did you realize, was it immediate or was it a gradual change if you did have to change your game and manage it to play over there?
Yeah.
You talked about the elements, talked about the wind, talked about link style.
Right.
And you had the benefit of going to Ireland, though, too.
Right.
And I guess my last question of that piece of that is, how similar is it golfing Scotland and Ireland? Are they the same or are they different? So it's kind of a three-parter question here. But
well, Ireland, when we went, was in the middle of that big drought. So we had great weather. It never rained on us once. But the fairways were pretty dry. And so it's a little different in that respect. And we were on a tour, so we kind of went from course to course to course. So it was a different experience for sure, but very similar in a lot of ways. The golf, link style golf. A lot of times you're not really quite sure where you're going. So we got smart pretty quick and would get a four caddy to go out with us. So we'd have someone who would say, hey, this is where you go.
Same in Scotland or?
In Scotland.
The same. So you had that in Ireland too?
In Ireland, we had actually took caddies even more so there. But in Scotland, you get a trolley, which is like a push cart.
Right.
And most everyone walks. It's very, 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 most courses don't even have golf carts.
Wow.
And if there are, there's just a couple. So, which is great. I love to walk, so it works perfect.
Right.
Yeah, for me. And but I think in the Parkland courses, I wouldn't say my game changed very much in that respect. There was definitely some calculation of wind and weather. If it was cold or it's a little colder, et cetera. That comes into play. But the links courses, for sure, there's a difference. You definitely kind of reminds me of Poppy when we first started playing after the renovation.
Yeah.
It's like you can't drop the ball on the green or it's off the back. No.
Wow.
No matter what.
So it's true run-up style.
Oh, totally. You want to land it, in front. And the thing that's really, really different is, and that we have no idea, is the fairways and everything are all this big rolling undulation of contour. So where your ball hits, you got to figure out where the heck it might have gone. There was some lost balls for sure, because you couldn't see where you were going. But
I was just going to ask you, how much, how often did you have like blind shots off the tee? Because sometimes when you see the photos,
not as much as Ireland.
They kind of look. It's hard to just kind of discertain. Like, is that a blind shot? Like you see you hitting a tee shot and I'm looking out and I'm like, I can't even see like which way the hole really goes.
Right.
I just see hills.
Exactly. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And that's why we learned pretty quick to have someone with us to say, okay, this is where you want to, this is the line that you want to take. A lot of the times that's all you got is that's the line. And then you get up there and it's like, okay, where's my ball? They'll go, oh yeah, that'll be fine. It's like right on. But it's actually nice because you kind of like line yourself up and you go, okay, that's the line.
Well, I was going to ask, when you just mentioned that, did you feel like you were a little freer in your swing? Like less controlling?
Less controlling for sure.
Because, when you get on golf courses that have a lot more obstacles and trees and curves, and people talk about steering the golf ball.
Yeah, it's like visually intimidating.
You're trying to steer the ball into a place, whereas it sounds like maybe this is a little more
it's definitely more free.
All right, take the line and go for it. And
exactly.
That's what it is. And that sounds kind of cool to me.
It was.
I like that.
It was fun. It was, and it's just like not a lot of expectation. And it's very different in that respect. I would say more for all the U.S. courses I've ever played, that's the biggest difference is all the undulations in the fairways. And I'm not talking about just it slopes this way or slopes this way. I mean, there's big moguls all over the place.
It's amazing when you describe that too, because even if, let's say, you're hitting whatever you're hitting into a green and you catch one of those moguls on the wrong angle, that sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. It sounds amazingly difficult.
It's really, it's interesting. It's really different. And then, like at Royal Aberdeen, the greens were the same way. They're just huge mounds and lumps. I mean, you've seen it on when you're watching the British Open or something in some of those courses. But it's fun because you kind of going, okay, like if I land the ball here and it's going to roll out this much, how is it going to roll? Is it going to roll down here and then turn back? And so it becomes this really creative thing that is really fun. I really love it.
More shot making.
Yeah,
it sounds like more
creativity.
Well, that's
a lot
what I mean.
of creativity. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that strikes me as I hear you talking about it is just everybody, I think not everybody, but in the U.S., like we have courses here on the Central Coast that are hilly, but they're not like, I get the sense kind of like when we went to the Masters, you don't really realize how hilly Augusta is until you're there.
Yeah.
Like even when you saw it on TV, it doesn't do it justice for what it is. So even when I see those pictures or you're describing it, your descriptions almost give it more depth than what I would see on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the TV doesn't capture that depth or the breaks in the greens or the slants in the greens unless you're watching the ball roll on TV and you're kind of going, well, that must be downhill.
Yeah.
Or that must be this way because it's curving this way, or the way the guy missed the putt, or the way he hit the putt, or she hit the putt, or it's just.
And the links course really, they don't have so much of the big elevation changes.
Yeah.
The part like Sterling does, there's definitely elevation change there, but the links courses are really fairly flat. They're by the ocean, but flat in that they're not going up in elevation and down, but nothing else is flat. Everything else is like, woo, everywhere. So, and then at Cruden Bay, it was awesome because it's in a big, gigantic basin that was actually an old battlefield. And, and the history is incredible.
See, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Man. I
think that's so cool. You're playing along and you go, okay, here's where I'm going. And then a couple of times you'll cross over where someone else is coming and will say, like, beware of golf on your left. Stuff like that. And then you'll get up a little bit and you'll look down and you'll see like the whole course and you'll see these little people kind of making their way around the course. It is so awesome.
Wow.
I love that. It was like this panorama miniature that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like nothing I've ever played here.
So when you were playing, what was the course you just mentioned with the battlefield?
Cruden Bay.
So does the course cross right over where the battles happened and everything?
The whole area was the battlefield.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is so weird.
It's so cool. And then, after golf, we walk up through all the little trails up to the old castle, and that's where they filmed Dracula.
Yeah.
And, there's just, I don't know, everywhere we went to a lot of different castles and stuff. So we intertwined the golf and the history and as much as we could. And like I said, we left, I said, I thought we would have all the time in the world. For us to go that long, everyone's going, God, that's a long time. It went by in a flash and we want to go back so badly. There's so many things we didn't do and that we want to do. Yeah. It's amazing.
So what was I know we're kind of doing this in reverse, but what was the travel like getting back there? So did you fly out of LAX?
I flew out of LAX and I actually got this deal on Alaska. They came out with a deal of 2 times the points if you fly from the West Coast to the East Coast. So I flew from LA to Philadelphia and then I booked a flight from Philadelphia straight to Edinburgh on miles.
Wow.
So the only bad thing about that was that I had to pick up my baggage in Philadelphia and then go through security again and recheck to go. But the cost was really reasonable.
What's the flight time from Philly to Edinburgh?
I think it was 6 or 7 hours.
Well, that's not bad.
No. And then
I thought it was a lot longer than that.
Well, Philadelphia is, almost all the way on the East Coast.
Yeah. It took you 5 to get to Philly? Probably.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
But that's not too
The
bad.
bad thing was I had a long layover, which I wanted, because the last thing you want to do is be running for a plane you're not going to miss, you know.
Right.
But that made it a really long day. So, I think I left coming home. We left home at 7 a.m. and Scotland time, and then I got home to LAX at midnight. LA time. So that's
Wow.
That's a long time. Yeah. I had a 5-hour layover in Philadelphia, so that was hard. I just walked up and down the terminal because I was so tired of sitting in a seat. But
Gosh, I would have probably gone to sleep.
The
Although
travel,
you're probably so tweaked at that
Yeah.
time.
the travel. I would say the travel, just distance wise, if you're going coach, and I'm going to go coach, obviously, it can be a little challenging.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a lot of jet lag. When we got there, I had slept on the plane, and we got out and we started doing stuff, and I felt really pretty good, pretty
That's
quick.
cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that was good.
Nice. So out of your trip, and now that you've done this, what would you do differently?
Well, definitely the thing we learned is that we plan to stay in one place as our home base and then go different places. And what we learned is going different places was too hard on those roads and how long it actually ended up taking. So the next time we go, we're going to spend like a week in one place, and then we're going to move and spend a week in another place, spend a week in another place. So then everything that we want to golf at will be within like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we'll be much more efficient at doing it and not spend so much time driving on the road.
Right.
So that's what we learned is it's not like here where you get on the freeway and it's like that to get somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Yeah, that's the biggest thing we learned.
Highlight
That
of it?
sounds cool because you end up giving yourself an opportunity to make new friends, new food, new experiences.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That does sound very cool. What
Yeah.
a highlight. Number one, do you have a number one highlight? I know it's probably tough.
Well, like I told you, the Braemere Gathering, it's not even golf.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pop, you're going to love this.
It's
Although
funny
Hop probably
because
knows about it.
my friend actually came up with it. She goes, "This will be cool." And so I got tickets. And I go, "Great, we're going."
What's it called again?
The Braemere Gathering.
Braemere Gathering.
Yeah, Braemere is the name of a town. And it's in the middle of the big national forest in the middle of Scotland.
So this is all a bunch of golfers.
No, it's not any golfers at all. So we go.
Is this where the pictures you took that were in a forest area? Is that the...
Yeah, well, it was a big forest. And then we got there. I think I took some pictures. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm not sure I'm not sure if I put them on Instagram, but anyway, so we get there and it's like this big, like everyone in the town and all these other towns, everyone's coming to this big event, and it's almost like the fair in a way, like the idea, but it's nothing like the fair. They have like a zillion things going on at once in different places in this big like arena thing that's not closed up. You can go out of it, But there's these girls doing the Scottish dance over on a platform, and then there's these guys that are throwing this 50-pound weight, like this big thing with a handle with a big 50-pound weight on the end of it, and they fling it around, like they dig their feet in, and then they fling it around their shoulders like 3 times, and then they throw it, and it's like crazy. Like it's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen. Then they have people with like 50-pound like kettlebells and one-handed, they're standing one-handed, they fling it up in the air, and the guy that won threw it over a bar behind them, 16 feet in the air. One-handed,
50 pound
50-pound kettlebell. 50-pound kettlebell. One-handed, over the back of his head, over 16 feet. It was like, you've got to be kidding me.
That would tear my arm off.
Oh, I have the video. I'll show you. It's amazing.
So are they dressed in like...
kilts. I loved it.
I was going to ask.
Great. It's the best thing ever, I got to tell you. And they're playing the bagpipe guys are coming
Yeah.
through and going around and playing in this band and that band, and they're, the drums are coming through.
Are
And
they,
then all
is
of a
everybody drinking at this point?
Oh yeah, everyone's drinking.
Just stole my question because that's what I want to know.
Oh
Is
my
that
God, yeah.
Everybody was stone drunk, weren't
No,
they?
no. I wouldn't say they. No, not at all. Not at all. But everyone was drinking and having a good time. And then they announced like the foot races, the hill race is coming. I'm going, the hill race? What the hell is the hill race? So these guys go around one time and then they just go out. And like you see them going up the hill and they go, well, I don't know what's happened with them. Well, we'll go on to something else. And that's just, like 25 minutes later, 30 minutes later, oh, the hill racer is coming back. And they come back in and they're like covered with mud because they've been running up in the hills.
What? Are those guys? Do those guys have kilts on?
No, they didn't have kilts on.
Do the guys that had kilts on? Do they only have kilts on?
Hey, we don't talk about that. I don't know what they have under their kilts.
Traditionally,
but
they're not supposed to
traditionally
have
dressed.
anything.
That's why I
I
asked.
think
Top. I
most
thought
of 'em-
traditionally they did
No,
not.
most of the athletic.
And if you're throwing something over your
No.
head,
Most
things
of-
are going to rise.
most of the athletic kilt wearers had like athletic
Supporters?
spandex like shorts on underneath. Yeah. But so then we're sitting there watching this, and I'm telling you, everywhere you look, you're just wide-eyed because you've never seen anything like it. Then the next thing you know, they're carrying this. They pick up this telephone pole. I swear to God, it was a telephone pole. I don't know. It's called a K-bar. I don't know how. It's like 20 feet high.
Oh my
They pick it
gosh.
up and they balance it, and then they run with it for a little while. And then the idea is they have to fling it and flip it head over foot and make it fall over. And if they make it fall over, then that's when they get all the points. But you're looking at this going, this is crazy.
This sounds exactly like every year. One of the biggest festivals we have here in Bakersfield every year is the Scottish Festival. I mean, hundreds and thousands of people turn out for this thing, and they do all of the things that Nikki is describing.
Oh,
They
I've gotta
do
come. When is that?
Every single one of those. I don't remember. They have it every year, though, and I mean, it's kilts and bagpipes and all the games and all the food and all the Guinness and everything going on.
Oh, that's so fun.
Every year they have it here.
Oh, it's so fun. I would definitely come over for that. So then
That sounds
we're in the
awesome.
middle of all this, and we're just like, and all of a sudden there's this like, the Queen is coming, and it's like, the Queen's coming, great, So in comes the Queen's entourage cars right into the stadium while the little Scottish girls are dancing and everything.
The real queen?
The real Queen. She gets out of the car. She goes over to the royal booth and, saying hello. I've got pictures of her. It's like, I cannot believe how freaking awesome this is. It was the best thing ever.
Was there a scoring system for this stuff? Like
Oh, yeah,
was there
they-
a full on scoreboard?
No, there was no scoreboard, but they would say, so and so has now cleared whatever, and he's, the top guy. Or
any injuries that you witnessed?
no,
That's amazing to
no
me.
injuries at all. I mean, it was
I
really.
can't even. Hop, can you imagine throwing a 50-pound kettlebell over the back of your head and up over 16 feet? I just don't.
One-handed.
One-handed. I don't believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. I think.
Yeah.
We
So
should
that
take
was
our-
that
that's
was the
awesome,
highlight.
man. We'll take our last break. It's Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy, brought to you by McPhee's Grill of Templeton, McPhee'sGrill.com. 805-434-3204. Give them a call to make reservations. You can also make reservations online. Check out Ian's famous barbecue sauce and also his Angus Porterhouse and filet mignon steaks. He also has a butcher shop as well. That's McPhee'sGrill.com, 805-434-3204. We'll be right back. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy.
At the Boys